77 candidates representing 14 political parties along with 18 independent candidates are contesting the 24-ward by-elections across all 9 provinces in the second installation of by-elections. The chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission, Glen Mashinini, is visiting 4 voting stations in Ward 27, that's Ekurhuleni. The ward has over 16,000 registered voters and has become vacant as a result of the termination of a councillor's party membership. Let's get more on the story. I'm joined by SABC reporter Natasha Phiri in Ekurhuleni. Very good afternoon to you, Natasha. What's the latest?
A very good afternoon to you, Nzinga. Once again, we're still here in Ward 27 in Benoni in Ekurhuleni. And of course, this is a highly contested ward where 5 candidates are just going toe-to-toe against each other, hoping that the over 16,000 voters within this region will actually vote for them. But I mean, just to give you a national picture holistically, about over 170,000 voters are taking part in this second installation of the by-elections, the December 9th by-elections. But I mean, Zinga, this is all about the voters themselves. So let's just actually talk to 2 voters, which are quite interesting. One had said he wasn't intending on voting, but let's just hear what he has to say. Earlier on, you had said you didn't want to vote.
Because it don't helping us, the people just...
Papa, buaka so it's fine.
About 2, 7. Thanks for everything, for helping us today.
So I never to vote?
No. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, Nzinga, that was Raelebo Khamuruti saying that he won't vote. He sees no need in voting, as he complains also about service delivery. But I'm joined by quite an interesting guest, which I just doorstepped right now. First-time voter. Your name and your surname, please.
It's Michaela O'Connell. Yes, also first-time voter. I believe that if you don't vote, if you don't do your part to contribute, you don't get to have a say in how the country should be run. And so that's why I'm here today. Also very last minute decision, but yeah, definitely.
Michaela, how are you feeling about voting?
I'm excited. I mean, there's a lot of changes that are coming through, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens after this. It's no longer just this or that. There's so many other options that the country can take. So I'm interested to see how that plans out.
And in terms of your area, service delivery, I mean, yes, you're a young person, but I mean, is there service delivery?
Not in all aspects. I mean, if you look at things like the roads, I know where I stay specifically, we have roads that are terrible, and you can't live in a place like that. The cost to yourself, the cost to your vehicles, it's just too much. So service delivery definitely does need to improve.
And lastly, do you think that your vote will make a change?
I'm hoping so. That's why I'm here. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, I think it will.
Let me release you. Thank you so much for your time, Michaela, and all the best. Thank you. Likewise. That was young voter Michaela, who's a first-time voter, saying she's quite, excited about voting today and hopes that her vote will actually make a difference. Well, now my second guest is the ANC's head of elections within the Ekurhuleni region, Mr. Dlabati. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC. I mean, judging by the ANC's performance in the November 11th elections, the ANC won quite big. You guys had retained 64 wards, you won 6 and you lost 2. Are you somewhat hoping for the same outcome?
Yeah, well, those are the signs that the ANC is building momentum and that people are still believing in the ANC. As we are renewing ourselves, probably it's a confirmation that we are on the right direction. Of course, we contest to win elections, and we are equally optimistic that we will do pretty much well in Ward 27 from where we were in 2016.
Mr. Dlabati, you've been campaigning for the longest time within Ekurhuleni. As we speak right now, the Secretary General of the ANC is in Ward 42, and of course my colleague Samgela Masego will actually update us in regards to that. But I mean, just campaigning around Ekurhuleni, what have the people of Ekurhuleni have been saying? And I mean, have you noted, service delivery needs throughout the region?
The general sense, if you look at where we started in 2016, comparatively, people are seeing an accelerated and improved service delivery. Of course, we are mindful of the fact that service delivery is a moving target. But if you look at the strides that we have made a positive step. We are presiding over a stable municipality capable of discharging its local government mandate, financially viable, and there's still an opportunity for us to improve further, given the fact that, as I said, service delivery is a moving target.
And in terms of local government elections, we're just a year away actually from those local government elections. What are you hoping for as the ANC? Do you hope to still, retain the ANC and retain Ekurhuleni under the ANC's leadership?
Well, it's an obvious answer. We contest elections so that we can have an overwhelming majority and ensure that we continue to lead the municipality as the ANC. So that is our focus. Secondary to that, we are strongly focusing on service delivery, we are strongly focusing on development, and most importantly, we are now beginning to give more effect to non-racialism, inclusiveness, so that the ANC as an organization, as we serve our people, everyone can feel that they belong into this organization.
Mr. Labati, thank you so much for your time. Let's just move to Mr. Jacques Maring, who is a candidate here of the ANC in Ward 27. Now, Jacques, you've got quite an interesting history. I mean, when speaking to the people of this area, you were a councillor for over 10 years. You were a former DA councillor and a good councillor. Take us through your track record.
Well, actually, I'm only a councillor for just over 4 years. Okay. And before that, I was a community activist and in politics. So, yeah, I believe that I've made an impact over the last 4 years.
So why move from the DA to the ANC?
This is a local government election. And, we need to start looking at things in perspective. You need to pick a service provider. You can no longer, 11 years I've been there, screaming through a window. Every now and again you write like a little note and you throw it through the window. And you can no longer build a society on that. We need to be inclusive. We need to have representation. How can you argue a fact that you are not getting the services that you want if you're not represented in the room where a budget is drafted?
So are you confident that this ward, people of this ward will actually elect you as their preferred councillor?
Look, this is a process. The ANC is not starting, and we didn't do it in 3 weeks to try and win this election. We are in it for the long haul. We are in it for a long haul service delivery. The next elections is in 8 months. I'm very optimistic of the outcome of this, and we're going to make a dent. But we might even win it. But in all fairness, we will definitely win it next year.
And let's just talk about issues of service delivery within this ward. Just talk us through that.
Service delivery, look, it's a contentious issue. We all battle with it. But I don't know if the camera just wants to have a turn and a look, and everything behind me and around me is municipal. This is kept. The level of communication that I've had with the council, and that is part of my reason for moving over, has been magnificent. But you cannot be an opposition. And the problem is opposition parties have become opposition within themselves. And that is what is currently being the downfall of this country.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maring. All the best. I neither want to add or subtract to what Mr. Maring had said, but you've heard it from him. He remains quite optimistic that, the ANC will emerge victorious within this specific ward, Ward 27. Nzinga, earlier on through the day, if I'll just remind you, we spoke to various, candidates, those 5 candidates. We spoke to independent candidates as well. We were meant to speak to the EFF Nzinga, but I've since been waiting for an EFF official and specifically the candidate within this region, within this ward, I beg your pardon. I've been waiting. Unfortunately, they have not come here. So we did afford the EFF a chance to speak to us, but unfortunately, no official of them has actually presented themselves. And the party agents who are here, unfortunately, cannot speak to us, through the media. But for those who still want to go vote, those over 170,000 registered voters who still want to go vote, voting stations closed at 9 p.m. Yesterday was special votes where over 6,000 people partook within, that process. Over 3,000 voters went to the voting stations, and we had over 3,000, IEC officials actually visiting those special voters within the comfort of their homes. The results of these by-elections, Zinga, are expected to be announced tomorrow. We are not so sure if the IEC will actually hold a press briefing this time around, or will actually release the results, online. But it'll be quite interesting to see which political party will actually emerge victorious throughout these 24 wards across 17 municipalities in all 9 provinces. With that said, Nzinga, it's back to you in studio.
Natasha Phiri giving us an update from Ekurhuleni there.